Now D plus Kia. Starting on the blue side, still banning Kalista. I thought, you know, into Diablo, I'm like, okay, I understand, that's fine. But into Duck Dam, I think it's fine to just leave the Kalista open, to be honest.
I'm with you, Valdez. I don't think this was a necessary ban, but it does come through. Taliyah makes a lot more sense. Showmaker eyeing an Azir first pick. I'm just gonna give it away, everyone. That shouldn't be a surprise. That should be a no-brainer. And it is certainly what's coming, as DK seemingly not taking the patch notes all too seriously. Yeah. Also, we did see only one game of the newer Gwen, but it was also Morgan, so I want to hold off a little bit on our judgment.
Yeah, into Rumble, and he got ganked after being pushed in, so.
And it's also clear versus Morgan.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. He didn't really get a chance to
win the game.
No
Zir ban.
Nafiri.
Well done.
I mean, Azir isn't the only thing they could pick up here.
They got it.
But they should, you know.
It's BDD.
Just based on the delay, I was getting a little bit worried. I'm like beginning to scramble through my notes. I'm like, oh, what else are they thinking about picking? But no, it's Azir. It was always Azir, and it's Azir today. It's Azir tomorrow. It was Azir yesterday.
We're in the LCK. It's always Azir. Maybe not Corki, but definitely Azir. Rumble, not going to be blind for perfect. I think we've seen him a lot on. Shiu then most likely going to go towards the Jace, but we'll see. Could also look towards more direct count. Into the Rumble, we've seen Galio, we've seen Aurora. What's the pickup for Cuz going to be?
Rise from Keen.
You know, if Shiu pulls it out, I'll trust him. I think the kid's been playing great.
Azir Rise is... I think that was actually what they played, wasn't it? Gen G. Well, it's going to be Yone from BDD.
It's a good combo. The 1-2 there.
Maybe they look for Sejuani here on 3?
I know DK keeps prioritizing this. This champion has like a 30% win rate. I feel like the nerfs have done their job. The main reason probably is because trying to play into Rumble, Skarner, Yone is that's not a good time. There's one man I trust to do this in the LCK, and it's Shiu. I think he's the best in Bessa. As instead, it's going to be the Pantheon to come through for Lucid. I like this a lot more, knowing the type of team that DK is. But it does make me wonder, is Cuz going to slam the Skarner? He does have or did have a Nidalee pass. I think in his current form, I don't know if he still does.
I think he lost his Nidalee pass.
Yeah.
He misplaced it and then he moved and he's like, oh crap, do I still have that?
No, you don't.
He's like thinking, oh man, do I have this? Well, apparently he found it.
Well, I don't know. You can just pick it. And you might see that and then go, oh, 82% win rate. Man, that champion is... But it's Peanut and Canyon that have been picking it, which might help.
And top laners.
And top lane. Yeah, Zeus is
like King In and Zeus.
Yeah, so do not be fooled.
What if it's Rumble Jungle?
Do you even want to play Nidalee into Ambessa? I don't even know. Like, obviously,
it's melee,
great, but
yeah. You get,
I guess.
I don't really see a good reason to do that.
Besides it being funny.
It is funny. It's like that thing where everybody says, oh, they have the chance to do the funniest thing. It's actually not that funny. I mean, it's a little bit funny.
How about your rated on the funny scale?
It's like a 4, maybe.
Out of?
10.
Well, it could be 5.
It's always out of 10.
I don't know. It could be 5. Then it wouldn't be that funny.
But that would be very funny. 4 out of 5?
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, relative.
4 out of 10 is a lot less funny.
It's not funny at all, some might say.
Yeah.
Just like this bit. As
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny, too. I just had to be self-deprecating.
Yeah.
I don't know why I do that.
It's funny.
It is funny. As Poppy taken away, still, there is the potential to flex the Pantheon. I think Pantheon support has not been great, has not been performing very well, but it would be very DK to just say, we don't really care about that. Barrel just wants to play his champion. And then he picks something else for Lucid to try and counter this Nidalee, which we do realistically know is going jungle. Now, as far as picks go, maybe Xayah here? I was kind of looking towards Jhin, so I think that's a nice ban from DK. Good call to take that out. And Nico does up the stock of a if they go like Varus here, I think DK is going to respond with Ashe Renata. That's kind of my... And then there aren't a lot of good counter picks into the Renata.
Or you just pick Alistair.
So Ashe Renata. Picking with Varus Renata as well. You have decent ways to start a fight, and let's be real, it's DK. They're going to try and win the game the first 15 to 20 minutes. So might as well commit.
It is aiming, so...
It is aiming. That makes... Maybe just go this and... So the Rel...
Just pick Rel anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I could see him do it.
Oh.
Those are your two flavors, right?
Little Varus angle? No? Just kidding.
Or you don't go... I don't think you go that and... Yeah, I was about to say, you don't go Misfortune and Renata. Doesn't sound great.
No.
So not going to do that. Instead, just going for the Rakan. Further follow-up. Team fights. Yeah, of course, no frontline. It's DK. They've been playing a lot of no frontline comps. Dom is going to go towards the Varus. Varus works well with the poke setup they have. It's going to be hard to play out the later fights, though. So I do imagine he will go lethality, because I don't really think you want to get anywhere near the members on DK. You don't have that much setup as well. I wouldn't want to be either of these two comps if I fall behind Veldas. I am going to be very real with you. If you fall behind...
Just don't fall behind.
Just don't lose early.
Yeah. So we'll see how the lanes go, because that will have a big impact on who gets this first lead.
So bot lane should be Barrow and aiming favored. Mid lane is definitely BDD favored, but not necessarily early on.
Yeah.
And then top should be perfect favored. But I have not been impressed by Rumble's laning phases recently. Claire was a good counterexample, but on average, doesn't feel like it's been as impressive. And then obviously Pantheon, really strong ganks, should get outpaced by Nidalee, so kind of go either way. Interesting,
might be a bit flippy in this one, you know?
Yeah, what, these two teams?
A little bit off the rails. A little bit up and down. Side to side, loop-de-loop. Yeah. I think it will come down to a lot of crazy play in this one.
A lot of Digimon. I saw
it's BDD.
Sad Frog as well.
Isn't that not the correct Digimon, though?
I don't.
Isn't that like...
I don't know. Maybe it's just any Digimon
not Agumon.
works now.
Originally it was Agumon, but
yeah.
I don't know. I guess they switched it up. Showmaker takes the Azir away and bans it from BDD in the series, and he just picks Yone into it. We'll see how BDD's Yone looks tonight as we hop into the Rift here for game number 1.
수환사의 학교에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Alrighty, game number 1 in a series that we are expecting to be very back and forth. This could just be the start of the week 6 gamer. Would not be surprised.
We've been saying that so much that now I'm like, no, it's a quick 2-0 for either team. That's just how it goes.
Is there any world where KT 2-0s quickly?
Well, they'd be 50-minute games, but yeah.
Well, like in actual clean 2-0, nothing to see here?
No. The meme 2-0, clean 2-0, nothing to see here. I don't think KT should ever get...
So they barely stumble across the line.
Twice, yeah.
And they throw multiple times, yet still they somehow find a way to win.
Yes.
Thanks to DK.
But even that, KT hasn't really been doing, right? I feel like a lot of the... We often joke about KT fans and where they're kind of at. But I feel like there's been an unusual amount of despair. Because they just... We've had lineups that were not that great, but had a lot of magic. Even last year, right? The lineup didn't really inspire that much confidence, but we had the homestand, Telecom War win, a couple of other moments like that. They were the team that broke the streak. Remember, was it Senna Nautilus? Broke the Gen G streak.
Yeah.
Arrow picked, and Deft picked that one up. I feel like we haven't really had those moments yet. As we do see, as expected, should be DK able to gain prio on this early wave, although I say that. Yeah, tempo barrier, not getting the most value for it, but I guess it gets to level 2.
Yeah, should let them hit level 2. And they're about to... A couple of... Oh, they get it there, actually. Aiming does. And now Barrel will. They push forward. push them out of the lane. See that Aiming has played 7 games of MF. And coming into the season, I wouldn't say that Aiming, you know, if you told me, oh, Aiming's going to be a big MF player, I wouldn't believe it.
And he's good.
He's actually good at it.
Actually good at it.
He is. And he's usually, we were like, okay, he's got to play something with mobility. He's very much a guy who is not scared to flip a game on a dash forward on certain champions at certain times. But, yeah. So I was just letting know that Agumon evolves into Greymon. I should have known that. In fact, I used to know that. And now I guess I just forgot. That's what happens, you know, the years, they go by, and you forget things.
It's fine. Eventually, your kid will watch Digimon, and you will know again.
Yes. I can't wait for that moment.
The real hype moment is when they pick up their first board or video game. That's
Yeah.
where you gotta look forward towards. I imagine. I don't know. You should be telling me, Vel.
Chronicler, the very knowledgeable dad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have dad energy.
Not yet.
Well, even if I do, I think I might have more mom energy than dad energy, Vel. We're gonna be real with you.
That's true. I mean, you know, don't have to play the standard role.
That's fine.
Do whatever works.
Thanks, Dad Valdez.
No problem.
Very
That's what I'm
valuable
here
info.
for supporting you through all of your trials
I mean,
and tribulations.
I'm doing great. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Siu is having a little bit of a hard time, but he's not falling behind. He is behind on health, and he doesn't have a pot, but, you know, Dorn shield and just tough it out and try not to fall too far behind.
Oh, it's a Hex Drinker first buy. You're playing into Nidalee and Rumble. It's going to be at you crazy amounts of value. Is Lucid actually doing a interesting clear here, just power clearing towards level 6. So, see, Cuz is already back to pick up Faded Ashes. Whereas Lucid, I imagine to deny, because Cuz was looking for a Raptor Steal. Actually, nice pathing here from Lucid. Cuz wastes a little bit of time. Shoot. I think it's fine. Gonna have to TP back, and then probably doesn't have enough for the Hex Drinker, so it'd be like a long sword and a mantle.
What kind of mantle?
A no magic mod. Oh no. Not mantling. I don't often say early Hex Drinker feels like the play, but I feel like here it really is.
Yeah, you just get so much value. Even just into the Rumble. But I suppose he wants a little bit more trading power. Just upfront damage. I don't know if that's going to work for him. He is going to catch a big wave. And again, I'm just excited to see how Perfect's going to play this game. He's really the guy I've got my eye on. Is he going to meet expectations? Did his time off help his nerves? Will he play better than casting? Maybe he'll be an extra step that leads KT to actually be able to win this series.
Yeah, casting was perfectly fine. I think for most of the games, it was there. I don't think it was a big liability, but I also don't think that he really... With Peter coming in, I'm like, okay, he should be playing for the rest of the season, right? It was a very marked improvement. Don't think that was quite the case for casting. As he went back.
Got him.
Still caps. Yeah, really very low-key early game here. They're just witnessing.
A DK and Brew.
They have been a bit slower, I think. I don't know if it's a lack of confidence as Lucid, nicely done, uses the movement speed on the E to just run away.
Yeah. Just run. She was able to get the refillable. That's definitely going to help him a lot in this lane. Equalizer does come down. It's a very good one. She has to kind of go forward. Takes a huge amount of damage. Overheating is perfect. And so it's just an aggressive trade is what it turns out to be.
Equalizer should be back up when the grubs do spawn. As mentioned, my biggest issue with DK right now is Showmaker is not the early laning phase. I think he's been fine there, but it's really mid-game where he, it's some games he drops too many waves to overgroup. Some waves he just isn't CSing well, and some games he is giving too much over to aiming, right? It's kind of a mix. Because it used to be Lucid that gave over everything to aiming, but then Lucid's been playing well, and they're like, you know what? You can have gold. But Showmaker also needs gold. So we'll see what flavor of Showmaker we get this time around. Because Yone is solid into Azir, but it's not like the matchup is unplayable for either end, right?
Yeah.
Yone just gets the skill for free and then becomes more about who has the highest impact in team fights. It's Castle or a Perfect rather already setting. That was a long time ago that he played for KT.
Yeah. Just teleported like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was watching. I think it was because I was watching. I don't know if it was Hotline League or the LTA podcast, but they were talking about Castle. So I think it must have just stuck. But Perfect, currently up about 250 gold, so looking good there, which we knew was going to happen. I think this is like 10 to 20 CS kind of within acceptable. If it becomes more, I think it becomes a really big problem, as we do see Lucid. Does he have an alternative play? Is looking towards bot.
Dive Alistair? Oh, Ducktom doesn't finish his back.
He also doesn't have cleanse. I mean, just zoning him off the wave isn't bad, but oh, they don't know. BDD's on his way, though. I think they'll read the play.
Yeah, BDD's here. The dive comes in, and Barrel just
dead.
Yeah,
I guess it's fine.
there you go. He's totally fine.
I really thought he was going to take another turret shot.
Yeah, I thought I saw a turret shot coming out, but it just came out and hit the ranged minion instead. Weird. And Cuz just got free grubs and a blue buff. He's really having a great time on this Nidalee. He hasn't really been challenged with doing much in this game outside of farming.
That's what we said. They are expected to actually generate a substantial lead. I'd say that it's weird, but the play from Lucid did still kind of work out because Ducktom at the back and actually ends up missing about a wave. Also allows aiming to pick up a plate, so it was fine. But if you can choose between that and picking up a blue buff and free grubs, it's a pretty easy choice, and that's what we said. Nidalee is expected to really overtake when it comes to farm. Panther can't really keep up with her. Lucid needs to make his impact known on the map. Does have his ultimate available now. We'll see if he can actually find real plays with enemy champions dying. Kind of the goal.
We don't have much of that in this game, Chronicler. It's not really happening.
It's a thinking man's game.
It's a thinking man's game. K thinking.
I know we try to brand everything as K something, but I feel like that's stretching it, Valdez.
Well, it's because it's KT, like K thinking.
Yeah.
But thinking doesn't actually highlight the T, you know, because it's TH. English sucks.
Yeah. Really, your language is at fault here.
Yeah. How do you say thinking in Dutch?
Denken.
Denken?
Yeah.
Definitely a real language.
Yeah. That's a normal word.
Yeah, it's very dank, I agree. That's the most exciting thing that's happened in this game.
So it's the same in German.
Is it really?
Denken, yeah.
Denken?
Yeah, have you not watched Frieren? There's a character in there.
What?
If you Frieren, the show.
No?
Okay,
Is
well,
that an anime?
yeah, it's really good.
Oh, well.
You should watch it. You're not going to, I know. But a lot of the names are... So if you speak German, you can... All the names are spoilers. It's very funny.
No ult used here by Lucid yet. Equalizer does absolutely nothing, and now the ult is going to come down. Perfect in a lot of trouble. Yes, he flashes, but you're not getting away from the Pantheon. It's an easy execute. First blood for Lucid in the top lane. KT, they get the Constellation Drake. It is an early Ocean Drake, which we always do say is pretty nice. But I'll take the kill, and giving Xiu and Lucid a very nice boost here in this early game.
Drake goes over. But as mentioned, Perfect gonna have to expand his TP as well. Yeah, back to this lane. That's an early Sundered Sky now to come through. As we take another look here, Perfect, I think, had somewhat of an idea, but actually based on the equalizer, I don't think, because he can also just equalize the wave and just be fine. But if your team is taking Dragon and you have that much vision, and the enemy Pantheon is not contesting, they're coming for you. So he does end up going down, and that's the lead that was there, kind of evaporating now. So we have more Dutch questions. I mean, we have a lot of time.
Any other languages are dankin'. Which languages are dank and which are just, you know, think?
Definitely none of the
I prefer the dank languages. Showmaker goes in with his shield, takes a huge amount of damage from BDD. Peter is diving the turret, and now he has to flash away. He is going to get the ult out of Barrel, and he has Hex Flash, but
yeah, he's just activating Hex Flash. It's fine.
He just... Yeah. Korean is not Thangok. Oh, we got a fight going on here as an ult comes in and they just isolate Barrel. He's going to go down. Peter may be in a bit of trouble, but no real follow-up from DK.
Yeah, Lucid missing his Q there. Don't know if it would have made a difference, though, with Peter still being relatively healthy, and I think his ult was still up. Barrel just unceremoniously dies. It's just been happening a lot.
He went in and then he died.
Yeah.
He is Rakan, which if you go in and you don't have a realistic way to make it out, you're quite squishy.
I would say a lot of champions have an issue if they go in and they don't have a plan to get out. That's tough. This game is really something, Valdez.
Well, we're trying to gank Showmaker. Showmaker trying to do his best Faker impression.
That's 4 people.
He is going to flash pretty nicely, but now we got the follow-up coming in from DK. Look at Duckdom. He is just in no man's land, getting isolated. Cuz as well, not able to do anything. BDD with the zoning, and the Spear's not able to do enough. So Duckdom does live. Meanwhile, aiming the Gold King. Well, not so far in this season, but he's trying to hit it. Trying to be the Gold King. As now we have the follow-up engage. Over the wall goes Barrel. Thanks to Peter headbutting him, but that is Rakan. So this time, Barrel actually does have a way out.
KT, there is a big problem. There's an MF who's pushing your mid lane.
Just ignore it, and it doesn't become a problem anymore.
Yeah.
Peter just gonna... I don't know. Especially with the TP coming in, there was just no escape, so I guess he just selected...
Oh, she was looking.
Oh, there it is. The ult is... Both of them are going to miss, actually, because one flash and a dream, and he gets out.
I have a trouble really parsing what happened there. I'm not... The sequence kind of threw me off.
Take it away,
so I hope we get a replay, because some parts of that I understand, like Shiu TPing, nice flash from Cuz. DK is very clearly playing really heavily towards trying to put Duckdown behind. Not even towards bot, because aiming just stayed mid and farmed. But I'm not quite sure what happened. As Shiu, that is a yoke.
Oh, but that ult misses. I think if it hits, he probably kills him.
Yeah. Oh, Shiu has flash, so he should never get hit. But he just walks it off. Kind of a cool move, not gonna lie. Now BDD also shows the power of the crit champion finishing Blade and then just being able to 1v1 everything. Now if the Herald started, I guess we don't get a replay just yet. Maybe later. We'll see. Shiu doesn't have TP, so he can't join. BDD's on his way. DK are going to be a member down.
That is taking a lot of damage from this new Rift Herald. He is Nidalee, and he's trying to heal up, but is not doing a great job of it.
Still down a member.
Yeah.
So they want to play it slow so that maybe Shiu can get the wave in and make his way over. Or maybe they just want to be annoying and poke. Yeah, it looks like that they're going to do it instead. So just play for the turret.
Yeah.
And DK, they've been doing a lot of the watching and not doing anything. So I actually like this a lot more. Because there's no TP, so this bot lane turret is going to go down.
Yeah. Free bot lane turret. Well, in trade of the Rift Heralds. But it's a bit of a handshake that I think DK will definitely take, especially from ahead. This is Rakan. Can they lock him down for long enough? The angle here on a Barrel, not bad, but no Yone ult.
He almost walks back into the space. Would have been the most Barrel thing ever.
He's busy micromanaging Shiu in the bot lane.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
We can't forget about the impact Barrel's had on Shiu's development.
Absolutely.
Dragon's gonna get taken, so 1-to-1 in Drake's. KT get the counter dragon, or the counter top turret rather. Aiming's farming.
He really wants this mid turret.
You'll get it. As
Hemtex hole again.
Where's our close-up? Where is it?
Yeah, he's not at work.
What is he doing? How is this happening again?
Nobody knows.
Not gonna lie though, it's kind of a cracked Camtech game. There's Nidalee, there's Yone.
Yeah.
There is Ambessa, there's Pantheon, there's Rakan.
Rakan?
He has heals.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah.
Xiu on the flank. The engage comes in from Barrel, and now here comes the Pantheon, and they just isolate the backline so well. DK, layer everything, but Barrel immediately goes down. 2 kills go to the Rumble, but look at aiming. He's just full health, popping him down one by one. BDD is still going. He wants more blood. He's going to take down Showmaker, and he's got a Nidalee behind him. A double knockup comes in. BDD playing this out as well as he possibly could. But has he overstepped his bounds? It looks like he will be just fine. BDD able to shore up the fight for his team.
Woo! Ending up with a even trading kills. I was kind of wondering if Aiming was going to shove in mid, but it looks like he doesn't. This starts off amazing for DK. So Lucid sets it up, undocked down, then Shield follows up with the ult. But I want you to look at that equalizer. Plus the knockup from Peter means that immediately Rakan, just by the AoE, as well as Lucid, just get completely toasted. And then Shio and Aiming are fine, but so is BDD. BDD doing a ton of damage. And I want to really give credit to Aiming's respect here. Obviously, he takes the split, but he had Flash and he had Barrier. And I know there are versions of Aiming that would have used both of those.
Yeah.
And then BDD would have flashed, and then he would have been out of Flash, and it would have been bad. Should not do that. As, yeah, I was a little worried for Barrel there.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. Most damage in the game does go over to BDD. The Showmaker right behind him, actually. It was a nice Emperor's Divide in the middle of that fight. Most gold Aiming also being outdone, as now Barrel tries to go for the quickness just to live, but he gets ulted down! And BDD is on his game tonight.
As much as BDD is on, Barrel's off. Atlas isn't here, so I don't have to worry about the repercussions. But
yeah, no, it's fine.
Not the best look. Wants to hold on to his Flash to maybe look for a follow-up play. Is a valuable summoner, particularly because Doctum is not running Cleanse, meaning that he is a much more juicy target than he would otherwise be. But giving this Yone more gold in the side lane is a big issue. I don't know if anyone in DK can really match him.
나 이거 오면 볼게.
If he comes here, I'll go for it.
6 levels up. Walks in a straight line. Just get hit by the Q3.
I like how he has his mouse in position knowing that Barrel was about to dash away, like knew exactly the timing to go for it. Very good read from BDD. It helps that Barrel, of course, is going in a straight line, but you know, trying to get back over to his team and not die. He was unsuccessful. Not the first time.
BDD, main carry, looking to be the main carry for KT. For DK, Aiming, huge gold lead, approaching a second item. If he can get the second item before we are going to get the hit on this Chemtech, it will be big. Both teams can also afford to give it up. It's very funny. Doctum is already sitting on 2 items, even though he's behind, because items are cheaper. And Aiming also invested the money into getting plated steel caps.
Barrel. He doesn't have a celestial opposition. He has to flash away this time, and he still nearly dies.
I guess it's good to flash, because otherwise he's dead for the Drake. But
yeah,
now he still does not have his flash. I also want to give credit to KT. I'm happy to see them very proactively looking for these angles on Barrel, right? Barrel wants to just set up some control, try and play towards that dragon that they know is on the way. And I just want to make sure, again, none of us predicted KT, right?
I didn't.
I'm pretty sure none of us did. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think even Ox went for KT.
Interesting. Well, I did predict KT against T1 and then learned from that, and I will never do it again.
Well, that's the thing, is expectations were at an all-time low after their loss to T1.
Still
so now,
are.
of course, they come in and
still are,
look good.
I'd say.
I don't know.
What BD does of Yone.
They're in this game, you know, Perfect is holding his own. He's not...
Oh, does Shiva finish his second item? Does the base to come through. There it is, Ghostblade. Oh, he is strong right now. 2 items for Aiming, for Lucid. I don't. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, you know, I was gonna say I hope we're not gonna just flip it on Otacon, but what if we did?
Well, it's even stronger now, the buff. So it's just even more of a flip angle. Our teams are like, no, we must do it. Everybody gather up and lose resistances.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, KT just waiting on the very outside of it. Just waiting for the steal. They're trying to pull it back, but it's too late. It goes to Pantheon, though. So DK, they get the Thornbound Otacon. And KT have nothing to show for it except a dead cow. And now CU goes on the back line. He gets the follow-up from the Barrel. Barrel immediately goes down, but Lucid is on the hunt. Should be going down himself. Holds up the shield, though. BDD still looking for the angle on the left side. They do get the Pantheon, but I think DK are in a fine spot, and they got the Otacon. Feeling pretty good about this fight.
Otacon, most important, that fact it's secured by Lucid, even though Peter tried to get rid of him. It's a big win. They'll be giving up the Dragon to just a second Drake. Not going to be the end of the world at Otacon. That is going to stick around. The getting continuous value of that. And I can't believe that worked. I feel like it shouldn't have, because I want you to look at Lucid. Watch this 1Q from Doc Dom. That was what, like 20% of his health bar?
Yeah.
Forget about the Otacon
Maybe
damage.
more.
Peter tries to... Peter dying here is fine. But the fact that Shield just gets this free ult, and the fact he gets it on Doc Dom as well, nicely done. Barrel, I don't know.
They have to go pretty deep for that kill, though.
They do. Well, and the kill is fine if they would have also gone BDD. Showmaker gets the flash. I think that's fine, right? Like the fact that he doesn't hit is because perfect flashes. The more I see, the less I know. That's really my takeaway. I'm like looking at these fights, and
The less
like,
I know, the better.
Barrel just keeps going in and going down, and there's a few things I know. I know that BDD's doing great. I know that Chiu's doing great. I know that Amy's doing great. Those are the truths that I will hold on to dearly. Everything else is in flux right now. I know there isn't a rise, but it still is.
Yeah, I mean, the skull difference graph, it has been on DK's side for a while, but it's not really going anywhere.
It's 1.7 at most. That's not a lot of gold.
Yeah. So it's consistent, but...
It's also both of these two comps, like, neither of these comps, when the game is this close, I think has an innate advantage. So it's really hard to shut down BDD, right? BDD in the sideline is a big problem. But then you look at the setup that's there for DK, and I think their snap engage is better, and they have a Pantheon. So they can actually shut down a Yone inside if he overextends. And then the team fighting for either team is good, but the front line for DK isn't real. Well, it's Pantheon's E, so that's like 3
He's
seconds.
got a shield.
And then on the other side, it's Peter if he has ult. So both teams are made of paper, which means that all these fights just feel very messy, very close. Gold lead's negligible. Might go the distance this time around, Velbes. Wouldn't surprise me.
This game or this series?
Why not both?
I would enjoy both. I mean, we're in this for the long haul.
We knew this was a
You know,
6-game day.
We looked at this day, we're like, oh, it's a 6-game.
Yeah.
We're coming in, we top it off with, well, we start with like a really nice east side matchup. It's very close.
And it was good.
And it was good. It went 3 games.
Yeah.
Preds were on both sides. And it was actually our closest match in terms of that. And then we come to this one, and yes, DK are favored, but still it's KT, so even if we predict DK, it doesn't mean that we have full trust in them. And so we expected it to go 3 games. And right now it's very close. So that looks like a 3-gamer. Doesn't mean it has to be. But we'll see how it does end up. I think a lot of this does rely on BDD once again, just finding great angles. Because as you mentioned, you know, the engage isn't super reliable unless he hits like a big ult or it's Peter. Peter's been okay, but again, he's not like blowing the roof off of the ceiling or anything, you know, with this play. It's a saying, Mao. It's a thing, okay?
Blowing the roof. That sounds like a Mr. 305, Mr. Worldwide Pitbull.
Probably is, honestly. Oh, very close, actually. And BDD does respond with his own ult. Hit level 16 just now.
I like the respect. I think that's a good call. If you do get hit by that, you just die. He didn't, as we know, but if he doesn't buffer, then he looks kind of silly.
Yeah.
So. Good call.
No flash either, so
Yeah.
better to just play it safe.
Yeah, his ult cooldown is not going to matter. It will be up by the time that we fight for the next dragon. Hopefully. Should be aiming, approaching his third item. Still a sizable gold lead on him. I love that Lucid is building the Hex Drinker. I still think Shield should, but it looks like he is just going to go straight lethality. With now his Ghost Blade has been done. Probably Edge of Night next time.
Yeah, there's just nobody tanky on the enemy team.
There is not.
Like, we are going to have multiple Zhonyas,
Yep.
but that's about it. It's kind of how far the tankiness goes
I just
outside of Alistar.
It's one of those. It's the same when Zeus goes for his lethality builds, not on Renekton. And
Not
you're
on
like,
Renekton.
This shouldn't work, and then it kind of does somehow. Shield hasn't died yet.
Yeah.
He's playing Glass Cannon and Bessa. Kind of crazy. As long as it's not Renekton. Prowler's Claw is not in the game anymore. We can't do that. Well, it is an arena.
Yeah. Isn't that gone soon?
Why would you remind me of that? That's so mean.
Aren't you and Ox going to have a lot less fun?
Yeah, we are. Why'd you rub that in?
Yeah, after I did it once, I had to commit, you know. Here's the engage, by the way. They're going to find Lucid, but that's a Pantheon. He just holds up the shield, and he doesn't really care all that much. So, a lot of engage used, especially BDD's ult.
The plant. Lucid's basically full health again.
Yeah, another engage comes in, though, on a Showmaker. He has to go golden, but now he's in a ton of trouble. Puts up the divide, but he's already dead. And so is Beryl, because of course Beryl is dead. As now Perfect gets into the perfect spot with that Flame Spitter. And the rest of the team here from DK is just barely getting away. BDD wants it. With the Q3, he's not going to have it, but it's another win here to KT in the fight, and they get the Dragon.
And Perfect just straight up toasted them. Initial engage from KT, kind of botched, but I think it was a false sense of security. BDD's ult doesn't really hit the mark. And then Showmaker just gets caught now. There are 3 members available. A lot of resources were used. This is a big gamble, KT. I think you should be happy to just take the soul point and leave it at that. But who am I kidding? It's KT. They're not going to do that. I think they should be able to. The helpers are getting low. TPs are coming in.
They have a lot of damage.
Shield is big. Edge of Night done.
There's only 3 of them here. TP's now coming in, but Lucid is not here, so no steal available. But Peter is just going to sacrifice for the rest of the team to get the objective. Perfect. He looks okay. Does get knocked up, and now BDD. Ooh, nice Zhonyas here from Showmaker to save him, but now he's on top of the equalizer, and he's burning down. He might just die. Oh, Showmaker goes down. Man, the KT fans are so excited.
Sure they are! Understandably, as we take another look at this play, it's Peter that sets up a beautiful play. Showmaker's just taken out of the fight. Even Shield getting an ultimate onto Cuz. Even the sweep doesn't do anything. And it's this 1-2 between Perfect's damage combined with the pick potential from Peter there that just keeps setting up. And now, yeah, it's Perfect. It's still a 1.4k gold lead. Negligible in the grand scheme of things. Now, that should get bigger for KT. It should. It really does.
Should. In
really
theory.
should get better and bigger because the bot lane turret outer is going to definitely fall. Ideally, inner falls as well. The struggles of Beryl also continue on this Rakan.
Yeah. You thought the Elise would be part of the reason why he was dying so much in that game, but then I see a game like this and I'm like,
Maybe it's just Beryl.
The Rakan is very slippery. And yes, he's playing support. He's going to be frontlining for this team especially. But yeah, he's getting caught a lot.
She was on a deep flank angle. They do have decent vision control. On top of either BDD or Perfect. But look, double Zhonya's done. We already saw Perfect do a really good job in the previous fight. And DK are just going to give it up. And the gold lead finally going to get bigger and bigger.
Peter over the wall. Comes on in. Goes under the turret. Does throw his ult up. And takes a bunch of damage anyway. Meanwhile, Shiu he elected not to flank. And instead he's just getting a mid-inner. And nobody's going to punish him. They can't get there on time.
Really one of the few top laners together with Zeus that's like, no, I can get the objective. I'm fine. Like, I'm not going to join. I'm not going to group. I'm just going to get a turret.
Imagine split pushing.
Well, Humble Life also is actually good macro. I wouldn't dare to say the same thing about DK, but
Yeah.
on an individual level, I do like the angle there. It also, was this a good Baron? Yes. Was it a big fight win for KT? Yes. Did it break the game? I don't think so.
No, not yet.
So Valdez.
Especially because, yeah, Chemtech Soul is pretty good on some of these members of KT, sure. But it's not one like Hextech where it's like, oh, I think KT just win from here.
It also sets up for the inevitable Elder flip, which is mandated when it comes to KT series.
Yeah, it's only game one. It's going to be one of these games or these series where it's like, it's only game one! Where it's like 50 minutes in.
Yeah, that was KT the last time that Atlas yelled that in pure... I don't even know what emotions he was going through.
Exasperation.
It was a lot.
Well, the whole team's here. BDD, are you okay? Nice buffer, but he might not be okay still. He is going to go down into his GA. Now does res. The rest of KT does come over. And Lucid's in a bit of trouble, but it's only Peter in the front line. And KT, they don't want to go in. And so they're just going to let them get out.
Ooh, big wins for DK. That's some crucial cooldowns. That is, most importantly, their GA. That's the big one. It means that BDD can't go in quite as aggressively as he did. That's also where a lot of the gold advantage is, right? That's mostly that item. But it's also not enough, and I love that. I love that. It's
not
nice,
definitive.
but it's not definitive. BDD will have his flash available. Peter will have his ult available. And as KT, they take control firmly, because I'm starting to think he refound that. I still has the license.
Ooh.
You know, we're looking at it right now. Hasn't died
cool.
yet. That was nice. Oh, was that Brendan Vella's liking at Blastcomb play? On my LCK?
It was just good timing.
Yeah. Making excuses.
So I think Mega Cones are good because we actually do get action out of them. So that is one of the okay things about it.
All right, I like it. Both these teams, gold basically dead even at 34 minutes, but one of them sitting on soul point. KT really want to take this. Their team fighting has been a lot better, I think, this series so far.
Both of these teams are playing very respectfully. I say that as you, once again, is split pushing mid. Should be okay, though. And here's the equalizer. Once again, Showmaker going to be hit by the brunt of that. Lucid in a really bad spot, but he's just thrown over the wall instead, and that just secures them the soul. So yeah, they're not going for the kill. They just want the soul, and now Peter able to frontline. Shiu goes down immediately in that backline alone, and now the lineup comes in for BDD. That's going to get bounce house, but now Perfect is just roasting them, and they have no way to get out of this one. Aiming does get taken out. Meanwhile, Showmaker is just killing everyone in the backline with Lucid.
Spear!
But the spear is too big and too much damage. Triple kill comes through for Perfect, and that'll be the end of this one after Lucid finally goes down. The Quadra for Perfect back after a full 31 days, and he is having a huge game.
And it is clean! And there is nothing to see! Drake gets taken. Equalizer, wonderful job at zoning out, Perfect. Look at this, keeps multiple members busy. And then Shiu, I think up until that point, have been playing respectful, gets just focused down, dies immediately, the turn isn't there. Aiming gets taken out of the fight, thanks to BDD, finding the backline. Perfect serving, aiming, well cooked on toast. On the other end of the fight, Showmaker and Lucid are trying, but then, even without that spear, maybe they could duck down. I don't think that alone is going to be enough. And outside of Lucid stealing an Elder, we might be looking at KT getting the upset win in this game #1.
It's still in
Yeah, it's still within
touching
3K.
distance. Like,
I know.
And it's just Chemtech Soul. Like, KT are definitely in
Yeah,
a
but
solid lead here, especially if they get this Baron, which I think they should be able to relatively freely.
Is Lucid going to ult in? That's our question.
No.
He might.
Please
but
no.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. They don't have any vision there.
Oh, he doesn't have ult, so
Yeah, that too.
I think he would have, but he didn't.
And now with the Baron, I think it's enough for KT. I think he's able to run down mid
Yeah.
and do enough. Peter spotted, but he doesn't actually take damage. Not from Showmaker, at least. Still working on his death cap.
I do. There is of course always the sense of dread that now that we have called this game over and have declared it a win for KT, that they do the inevitable and do the funniest thing imaginable. But yeah, I don't believe in curses. I'm very outspoken about this.
I think a big issue is that aiming is the one who's actually got money, but from behind as MF, you're not really. You can't really like set up an angle for an ult. You just get collapsed on immediately.
Yeah.
There's way too much reach, like with Equalizer, with Yone ult, and way too much mobility. It's just so hard to play MF in this game.
Verisol.
Yeah.
And the engages have just not been good for DK. It's been the big difference maker. Peter, yeah, he's died almost as much as Beryl, but he's had multiple game-winning moments, setting people up on Perfect's fire field. The Showmaker does get death cap. And it's not one. I do also... KT's in a great position. But if they don't get inhips, we might just get Elder flip. And if they lose the flip, then I think DK can still win.
I love how cautious we are right now. It's like, KT should win this. But...
yeah, because...
don't know about that.
Up 2 levels. Understandably, they are winning the map, but also Nidalee will just always outpace the Pantheon, as mentioned earlier. Beryl now... the kill's done. It's gonna be an Elder flip, isn't it? KT's like, we're gonna base. We're just gonna set up. We only have a minute left on our Baron.
2 minutes ahead of the Elder. KT are already setting up.
Their poke is actually solid though, right? With the spears and the harpoons and Dokdom.
Valdivaris.
But I swear, KT, if you allow them to approach and you don't turn and they just get a team fight win off the back of an Elder, you don't try to outflip a flipper, okay? Lose fourths in challengers.
Yeah.
Don't do it. So I ask.
Who spent the most time in challengers? I think it might be Lucid. Okay. Well, Showmaker pressed the wrong button. He doesn't have a ward or anything. He just decided, okay.
I think it will be available for Elder fight. Yeah, should be.
Should be, yeah.
So it's not the end of the world, but, you know, it's not good.
I don't think they saw it either. And maybe he placed that control ward, so maybe he just fat fingered two items at the same time. Could be. Give him the benefit of the doubt this time. So DK are definitely going to have to play very cautiously and not overstep their bounds. The division is so deep here for KT. They have really set up ahead of time.
What a comeback for Perfect, though.
Yeah.
I do think Rumble has always been his best champion, where he's looked consistently the best on, but still, his teamfight impact undeniable in this one, showing us why that Rumble prio is as high as it is. As we are currently just doing some poking.
Yeah, a bit of back and forth. Shiva going to find 2. Has to back away. Actually, BDD has taken a lot of damage from Showmaker. He's got to be careful, but the heal is 481 from Cuz.
His Crit Loom as well.
Yeah. And they're trying to find an angle, but DK have to engage and not get poked down, but it's easier said than done. Especially now that the Elder is spawning, and there's the poke coming in. The Equalizer once again going to zone them away. Lucid does not get hit by the Equalizer, though.
They don't get to play the game.
Yeah.
This is perfect, KT. Not letting them near.
And then now they're just trying to get, like, vision behind them and TP Showmaker back into the fight.
I gotta be a little careful. Lucid can just ult. Oh, DK, this is the Hail Mary.
Yeah, gonna engage onto Alistair. Lucid nearly dies, but they're not so sure about that. He flashes away, but the damage going into the Elder already from BDD, and it might just be the flip. KT, they've kind of just turned on the Dragon here. They have a huge amount of damage. Here comes the ult, but it's early, and immediately they just turn onto him, and Lucid's dead. There's no smite, and Perfect once again holds the door in their face. They try to take the fight, but the Elder goes away at KT. And yes, Perfect will go down, but the rest of DK will fall as well. Although Shiu does get the 1 kill on the backside.
I have a bot wave, though.
Yeah, they're just trying to push bot. I don't think that Shiu can 1v3 against Elder Soul. Elder buff.
I'll tell you for a fact, I know he can't. And DK, you can see it on the faces. The lost streak against teams that realistically shouldn't be a bad thing to lose, but we know this team does kind of float by on vibes, and right now...
He's trying to clear the wave. He flashes away.
Oh.
He clears the wave.
Okay.
Mostly.
Well,
They're going to get one.
Next wave is coming.
Oh, there's another range.
Minion.
There's another range minion right underneath. Because, yep, that should be the end. Xiu, yeah, he just gets bonked on the head by Elder, and that'll do it. KT wins a 42-minute game against DK from the red side. Looking fantastic is KT.
Makes perfect sense to me, Valdez. KT! What a comeback from Perfect. I know, yeah, BDD's Yone, he was impeccable. Peter's Alistair was good, but I was not expecting this out of Perfect.
No?
I do think he played a lot better the last 2 weeks in Challengers, did step it up, but even yesterday they dropped the game, which I guess was without Perfect. But we've seen that team not be quite as clean as they were last year. For DK though, this is getting very, very concerning. A game 1 loss here wouldn't be the end of it, but if they lose this series, end up falling to yet another team, will be a big moment. And again, the zoom in on Showmaker, I know his damage numbers looked good, but it still feels like that Azir pick away was only that. It was only a pick away. We didn't see any good plays around that. And Barrel, the less said about his Rakan, the better. And then Perfect, most damage in the game, most damage on his team, extremely earned. Cuz still has his card. BDD no notes. KT! Of course! Of course they win game 1!
Are they back?
Oh, wait, oh, calm down now, Valdez.
Are they gonna just crush him here? I'm excited to see what happens next. Guys, 1-0 here to KT, as BDD has in fact evolved into Greymon. We're gonna take a break and have the space. We'll be right back.
이거 할 거야. 그럼 모르겠다.
끝났어. 이거 없어.
확인하게. 들어온 거 줄게. 들어온 거 줄게.
중국이긴 한데 그냥 그
꿀은 모르겠어.
뭐 많이
근데 태길이 공풀 봐?
알았어.
기다리자. 그냥 얘네가 와야 돼. 들어오는 거야. 타워만 치면 돼. 타워만 진짜 타워만 치면 돼. 얘네가 와야 돼.
타봐야 돼. 락할 거야. 타봐야 돼.
오케이.
이거 맞췄어? 오케이. 이거 타워 일단. 하나 더. 미니 하나 더.
아니야, 끝낼만 해.
미니 하나 더.
내가 움직게.
에 죽이다.
야, 장르야.
끝났다. 따자. 끝내자.
나이스. 잡았다.
나이스.
이 살짝 안 맞네.
Well, it was just the gameplay. The gameplay is not looking good enough right now for DK. And it's the world champions that need to step it up. I think aiming, got caught a couple of times there by ults. But again, as we highlighted, I think he still played the cleanest game out of everyone. Lucid, because his support kept exploding, was tasked with starting the fight, but as Pantheon, if you use all your tools to go in, as soon as your E is down, you're just going to get focused and die. And Xiu, kind of the same. Tried to do as much as he could, but just couldn't really stand up to the very angry Toaster on the enemy team. We'll see if DK can turn it around, because if they get 2-0'd by KT here, it's hard to imagine where the bottom is. This is a team that is very, very reliant on the vibes. It's something we can very clearly see in their game-to-game performance. And it would be a crazy drop-off. I don't think any of us expected them to actually maintain the form they had at LCK Cup, right? Like, we all knew that at some point that would be a bit of a drop-off, but losing to KT here now, even with Perfect coming back after a bit of a break, would still be a very painful loss. do think the draft that KT had was also perfect for KT, right? The Yone, the Rumble for perfect,
Yeah.
Kazan is Nidalee. Is the perfect Gwen going to still be prioritized?
Where's the
Rumble already
Taliyah?
taken away. Might get picked up here?
I mean, Taliyah just not prioritized. I thought, you know, with some globals banned away, maybe they wanted some more power from
I
their
don't,
Taliyah.
because I know he's looking at Viego, because you can cancel the Lilia ult. I don't think he should, as this is the new standard. And my read is also that this dissuades the Lilia pick, or the Taliyah pick rather, right? Because trying to play it into Ryze, she can actually match, or he can actually match your roaming potential with his ultimate. He has a really good wave clear, and if you try to get in range of him and you eat a full combo, you're not going to win the trade, even if you do get the flick back. So for Showmaker, maybe an AD pick is the answer, but what is he going to play to pair with this Lilia?
Well, we're going to see Jace first.
We don't know. Could even still go to Showmaker. But I do think it's most likely just going to go to Shiyu.
Yeah. Tryndamere?
I don't hate
Camille?
I don't even hate the Tryndamere. I don't think that you should pick it up here, though.
Faker was playing mid Camille last night on a stream. I was watching that.
Look at that.
But it's not going to be that.
Eldest bring in the tech. Oh, don't let it be mid Corki.
Mid Corki.
Well,
See
this
the
could
non-
also
there it
could
is.
also be aiming Corki, which I think AD carry Corki is fine. Doesn't excite me, but it's okay. Mid Corki I think is dead, and we should let him be. It's the Wukong to come through.
Yeah.
Really good matchup into playing on a Jace on the enemy team. Not the best in the Lilia specifically. Obviously can get a top of her, but don't get quite as much value from the armor and the AD neutering parts of his kit. But the team fighting looking good here, and then most likely just going to look for what, Rel, Nautilus, Leona for Peter. Big chance that all of them get taken away.
Ezreal, first to be taken away.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I really do like the Wukong when you've got something with very reliable lockdown.
Maybe
So
Xayah
I like
ban?
that with the Ryze.
Or they could pick up Xayah themselves. KT could. Although I don't love Xayah. I think against both Gwen and Wukong, you know, if you're Xayah and you press R but they're on top of you, like you're just gonna die as you get out. But
they
I
just
know
run you
that
down.
that's not the read that many of our LCK teams will have. And then we have the Rel, like Rel, Leona, Nautilus, still open for our engage reports. Rakan's gone, which is good, because that was not...
Yeah, I think we saw enough of that in game one.
Well, I'd be willing to give Peter a shot. Not Beryl, though. That's okay.
Poppy. It's a pretty good shot. I think Poppy just, in general, is strong. And into Wukong.
Taliyah
Fine
is
value.
still open.
Yeah. Taliyah just ignored.
It's good into both Gwen and Wukong. Does obviously struggle into the Ryze, so maybe that's enough reason for Showmaker not to pick it up.
Braum.
As it is Braum banned away.
I mean, you got rockets, you got shock blasts flying at your team.
What are you going to pick here? I don't want it to be Xayah. It might be. For Doc Dom here.
Maybe they just pick support. There we go.
I mean, Braum's gone, so makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Could see Beryl go for Rel.
Beryl.
Like Rel Corki bot.
And what's Showmaker playing then? Xerath?
I don't know.
Victor?
Well, that will give us our answer. Damien Kaisa, once upon a time, his best pick. I don't love it with this setup, so it's going to be Nautilus most likely.
Yeah, you need some kind of hard engage. I feel like it's very slippery, and if you run cleanse, you can do well into this comp. But you might not have a fun laning phase.
Rel for the team fight power. Well,
Rel.
Rel and Lilia. I have to do a lot of heavy lifting here because this comp, it doesn't really come together for me. Whereas for KT, kind of love this. Good engage, Solid matchups.
Yeah. Love the Jhin here.
Yeah, it's the DK bot lane, right? Can go matching skins if you want. Rob Barrel's face in it.
Yeah. They should, honestly.
I feel like it'd be fun.
Just for the mind games.
I thought you had a skin on this champion, Barrel. Where's the gameplay? Not in game 1. Hopefully in game 2, because we need another free gamer. Veldus, I don't.
Yeah, we really do.
It can't be over after 2.
That would
I know
just be
the
really
memes
disappointing.
well, the memes would be good, because the clean 2-0 nothing to see here would be kind of true.
Yeah.
But can't we do clean 2-1 nothing to see?
We can do that. We have done that before. And KT doesn't have that many wins. They've only won 3 times so far after 10 series. So
Yeah.
looking for their 4th. It's not an easy ask for KT. Even against a DK that's struggling, but we like what we saw in game 1. All right, the roller coaster is going up. It says, please go up on that one. This one says, end your loss streak. Keep going. Came from Daejun. It's Daejun.
It's Daejun.
Yeah. To support DK. We'll see if that Daejun power will help him out here.
Gotta need something, because this draft, the mid Corki for Showmaker, it doesn't inspire confidence, Valdez, but I've been surprised by drafts before. Let's hope we can get the free gamer.
Let's see if we can do exactly that, or will KT just shut the door? Let's jump onto the rift.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 미니언 생성까지 30초.
All right, game number 2. DK, I hope that whatever they went over in the coach's room actually helps them this time around. Because loss streaks are not easy to get over for any team. Even one that's had a lot of success in the past doesn't necessarily mean that they'll always have success. There's always ups and downs. And it certainly does feel like DK is on a bit of a downswing. Perfect timing for KT to swoop in and pick up a 4th win.
생성되었습니다.
Or does
Unexpected.
DK come back to life?
Yeah, I was just a week early with my KT prediction. Maybe that was it. If they 2-0 here today, I will... Should have seen it coming.
Yeah. They were
It's
due,
okay.
right? They were
They
due.
are.
It's just you were 1 bet ahead.
Unfortunate.
So after you lost the last bet, you should have doubled down. You know, should have been like, well, they're still due.
Like I do with my bro points.
Yeah.
Well, I don't, but if I would.
We are fighting over this. It doesn't look like KT wants to give it over. A lot of damage already in the Lucid.
Cause it's
DK
level 2. Yeah,
will
they gotta
just back away.
Oh my god, that is not how you want that to start.
No. No, it's not. Nothing crazy here with the grasp on the Gwen.
I'm also just kind of baffled because yes, you will have mid prio, but it's not like your level 1 is a lot stronger. I don't think. Like Leona is not that strong, obviously, so that's a window of opportunity you do have. But Lilia level 1, still pretty decent cooldown on the Q, so actually takes you a good amount of time. Now, Lilia is a really strong farming jungler once you get your first item. So anything that delays that, I think actually has pretty big repercussions. Lucid will be fine, you know, it's not the end of the world. But he is going to be a little bit behind as a Showmaker.
Oh, the flash on in. If BDD doesn't flash that, I think he just dies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So good call from BDD. Nice look from Showmaker. I think the fact that Showmaker was playing like a madman the entire time up until that point kind of led BDD to believe that he would go for that play. And he gets the right read and survives because of it.
Ooh, cuz.
Where are you going?
Oh,
he's warding.
I'm wondering if he missed like a wolf. I think he didn't hit 2 until he actually cleared the raptors. Not sure what happened there.
Well, he was 2 when they were fighting over the blue, right?
Well, yeah, but you can just get like the big wolf. And
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
So
until he
maybe
got to
lost.
raptors, I think he was. I'm not on, but I'm pretty sure he was level 2, which would mean he would have dropped some minion or some monster rather at some point. Lucid gonna adjust his pathing, does a prio in top. So we'll be able to pick this up. As mentioned, with Lilia, your clear is still solid. You are obviously still an AP jungler. One big advantage they have is that they get to cycle through their camps pretty quickly, but the delay is still going to be a big deal. The lane is looking a lot better this time around, though. And Shiu, the last game, the Ambassador didn't quite get it done. Wasn't his fault, but it wasn't enough to find the win. His barrel is very far up, and Cuz is here.
Yeah, we'll see what he elects to do. He does crash down, and he has flash, so I think he's just fine, but does have to use his flash. Meanwhile, speaking of no flash, BDD, bit of trouble.
Flash?
He's very fast, and Lucid can't really get in range, so...
Yeah, unless he commits the flash, but because the bot side play, good call, I think, for DK there not to go too ham. Could have been a punish to come through, and they're fine now, even though Lucid is a little behind. If they flip that play and it doesn't work, they're in deep trouble. Nice trade from Shiu. Staying away from... Oh, I say...
Well.
I think he's still fine. Still sitting on Cookie. Perfect on 2 as well, but Showmaker is playing very angry. I think he also...
Assassin Corky.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with his Game 2 performance, or a Game 1 performance, rather.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great. Like,
it was not.
He never had a proactive Azir move. His divides were very lackluster.
Got caught in a few of the fights.
Yeah, like he did good damage, but it was mostly just because the enemy team was running straight into them, you know.
He also has Leandris and he's Azir, right? So, like, the opportunity cost is very...
It's a long game, he got death cap, like, it's just kind of...
Fake stats.
Fake stats. So he's back with a vengeance. She was missed like 3 shock blasts in a row. Imagine if those actually hits. Instead, he's still dominating lane. So
it's fine.
The nerfed Gwen, I don't think he's losing lane because of the nerfed Gwen, but the Jace continues to be a menace in the top lane.
Should be an easy Drake setup. Lilia, a lot of percentage damage. Faded Ash is done. Cryo in both mid and bot lane. And Cuz pathing towards the top side of the map. So early Drake means that DK can do this and still be set up for the eventual 8-minute spawn of the Grubs. I do kind of like the pace change from not having the Grubs at 6 anymore. I kind of enjoy it. You know, maybe we'll get tired of it.
Yeah.
We're just on the first day of the season. You're like, no.
Well, the thing is, okay, so perfect comebacks from his TP.
Where's the thing?
And here's the thing.
Okay. Sure.
It just reminds me of like old League of Legends. Very slow early games. As now we're going in. Nice crash down, but Showmaker not in the best of spots, and he also doesn't have his flash, so he's gonna go down. And that's first blood of Rise, but Shiu is dunking on the enemy. He's trying to get it done, but the needles are coming through, and now Shiu's in a rough spot. He gets taken out, and it's 3v2. Peter is pretty low. Some burn damage coming through. KT's still gonna go in on this one, but so will DK. Thinking they have the damage from the Lilia, but it's gonna miss. The Eve is not going to hit, and now Lucid just on the chase, but instead he's denied everything. It's a double for Cuz, and KT again take the lead.
And DK flipped the game early on, and it starts with a tragedy. Showmaker gets caught. So much of the damage immediately out. If Lucid is 6, this fight is a complete blowout, but Showmaker, you can't walk up to Leona like that. Gets hit by the Zenith Blade, dies immediately, and then Shiu wants to try and go. If that Q from Lucid's hit, there are a lot of maybes here, but none of them matter. Sustain from Perfect in this fight ends up being a big difference maker, and right here, had they gone and actually got enough damage down on Perfect, might have been enough, but it's Gwen. Like, she's gonna heal so much in these early fights, and then even if that E hits, it doesn't matter. Enough mana. And they know how big of a win this is, and KT needs this desperately, but so does DK.
나이스!
Well, we knew they had it in them. Not everyone believed, but seeing it now, it feels like...
And that's the comfort zone.
The hype train is back. Or
Maker.
KT Rolster.
After a great laning phase. Just got outplayed there. Peter. Ox already gave some credit. KD didn't look the most impressive as a... Oh, God.
Aiming is going in. BDD is Rise. So a trade of ults, you could say. And BDD doesn't really care so much about that. Barrel does
have flash. Oh,
Oh, okay. Gonna
That's
flash the bowling ball.
well, a big win, but price is being paid. On the map, the grubs are being taken. And there might be a dive angle onto Shiu as well. Kazas is Cyclone available. Aiming, I guess, is going to get this. But you can see as well, the desperation is kind of getting to DK. Like Shiu flashing in there on that previous play, trying to burst people down in hammer form. Aiming, just ulting on top of BDD. Sure, he had Lucid in the area, but the KT fans seeing the early lead, looking at that champions, feeling pretty good right now. 3 kills for a Wukong. Eldas. Best scaling junglers in the game.
Yeah. I think he'll take that. It's a decent amount of mixed damage on DK, but still now, oh, he's gonna jump over him. Still gonna hit him with the lance, but flash it in, perfect! Does it again! And I don't know if Barrel's got the damage here. Maybe he barely does, but oh, one grasp, it's not gonna be enough. And Barrel at least trades a kill, but that's not a good feeling.
Can't miss those. Can't miss that W. He does. A perfect just gets the counter kill. So, and Shiu doesn't even get the kill. Onto the Gwen. The only upside is that the wave will be crashed. That is a lot of resources being not given to Perfect.
Wukong.
Oh, Cuz gets them, so he'll still be happy.
The real carry.
But the continued struggles for Barrel here. Because the idea behind that play is great, but
Dashes it.
yeah.
Yep.
And Barrel eventually is able to get the kill, but you're going to be very happy about that sequence of events if you're Perfect.
He didn't say anything the whole time. He's just furiously chewing gum.
He's locked in. He's locked in.
I mean, it's his re-debut back to the LCK.
Yeah.
Like, it's not actually a debut, but like he got benched for casting because he was playing poorly. So,
And he was.
Again, if there's anyone who had something to prove today, it was him. And maybe Showmaker. Right? Showmaker's a little bit of a different case.
Showmaker and Barrel still haven't proven anything. Perfect, though.
Well, in terms of people that had something to prove. Perfect's doing it.
Yeah. Very
Showmaker
true.
and Barrel are still waiting.
I'm sure they're getting the proof. Any day now, it'll be released.
Yes.
Hopefully in this game, so we don't go home early. I don't want a 5-gamer, Veldas. That's the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, the cringe 5-gamer.
Yeah.
When you expected it to be 6.
Yeah.
I know that feel. I know you're not very familiar. From back in our Challenger days, you and Atlas getting the based 9-game days.
Yeah, so based.
And me and Wolf and I never did.
No, we definitely were never delirious.
That just made for a better cast.
Yeah.
It was worth it in the end.
Yundo was with us on those 9 games. He does not remember them fondly.
Well, it's a different feel. As this time, Barrel is going to be able to peel for them pretty nicely. Perfect does have more needles, though, and maybe Perfect just goes down here as Peter is getting pretty low himself. Both of the supports will eat it as Aiming and Perfect trade a kill. And that's about that.
I don't think you're super happy about that. I'm also wondering what is happening to Lucid. Is this I haven't really been able to keep track of the jungle, but is it Cuz just being able to continuously get these evades up? Evades is kind of what it feels like, which makes sense with the prio they've been having.
Sleep on a BDD.
Play to work.
No flash, and you're up against 2. I don't think he's getting out of this one. Shock blast to the face. Shiu picks up his first kill. Maybe the 0-2 into comeback arc for Shiu?
The craziest thing is when you look at this game state,
DK
for
or ahead?
DK, it's yeah, they're well, I think when this wave gets, but they're basically even, right? But you can feel the difference, and I understand because you're downing kills, you're downing grubs, you got 1-to-1 in dragons. There's an enemy Gwen that's fed, there's an enemy Wukong that's huge, so it's understandable. 2-item spike is going to look very juicy for DK once Showmaker and Shiu hit that. But it's based on the play of DK, where it just doesn't feel like they have a lot of confidence and where they're just making these kind of desperate plays continuously. He just wants a count. And he can get it.
Oh no, he flashes and he's still gonna die. Everybody was here, and they hand the kill over to Duckdom too. It's gonna feel great. This Jhin, you know, was behind Aiming, was about 800 gold ahead.
He knew, and Lucid.
Now they're getting played top.
So I'm saying, it just looks tilted, right? just wants to grump, wants to get resources so he gets to play the game, but not happening. KT pushing their lead. It might actually happen, Valdez. Might be able to stay the magic line.
Well, I'll believe it when I see the Nexus fall. Perfect gonna miss
Very valid.
everything. Well, he hit the minions there. Give him credit for that. Man, he's fine. He's actually a level behind. It's not a lot of XP, but currently down a level to the Jace.
Technically a level behind. Yeah, that is
Yes.
true.
I mean, the number is one lower.
It
The
is.
XP
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like,
no, it is.
I don't know, 200?
Yeah.
I don't
Not a lot.
XP numbers are difficult.
You know who would know?
Papa Smithy.
Or Ox, yeah. I mean, Ox is a more recent. Still
It's just
here.
that in the past we would always Papa Smithy's more like the lore guy. Like he knows exactly what happened in like 2013 games and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ox is definitely more of a numbers guy.
I do know that, but only for Challenger.
That's why I asked you before. You know who was in Challengers the longest? I think it is Lucid.
For these players on the Rift, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shoo.
He's going to be smoked down. I'm trying to avoid the knockback, and he does have his flash. I think he's just, the predict! BDD's so on his game tonight. Just makes him look silly, and they get the flash.
And it's been the top jungle duo that was a big reason as to why DK was able to have some big performances, but right now they're the ones crumbling. Combined 5 deaths of Shio and Lucid. He's not able to stave off, and the flashes into dying for both of them on these back-to-back plays. TDD going to shove in. I'm pretty sure getting the turret as well. And KT, they're just looking good. Plays across the map.
Yeah. It feels like aiming is trying his best.
Oh, yeah.
He's been the only guy ahead 2 games in a row.
What can you do? He's, as you're saying, giving it his all. I still can't believe that Shio is barely behind. I don't really understand. I guess it's just plates. And he's like up, what, 10 CS maybe? Yeah, 20. But he's down a kill and an assist.
야, 릴리아 온다. 아니 보자 이거
Let's see
이거.
it. Let's go for him.
잡았어 오케이.
Yeah,
Got him,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he was, oh man.
블리츠 방했네.
I got hit by the predict
Yeah, he knew.
since you should have flashed downward. Hindsight's 20/20. Even then, maybe they just dive the turret and he dies anyway. I was thinking he was going to save his flash.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling as well. But clearly BDD knows better than both of us.
Well, if he's going to use it, it would be that way. So good read from BDD, who is not going to stick on a catalyst. Just buys a bunch of items and finishes that Roa. It's Ocean Soul again. Big rotation up to this Rift Herald as well, while KT is taking the Dragon. All of DK around, but you could see that they're not really fully committing to this. Like, they're DPSing it, but she was going mid.
This is a must-win fight for DK. If they lose this one as well, I think the lead is just going to be too big to deal with. KT's going to get too far ahead.
Perfect's going 1v1 with Showmaker right now. Meanwhile, we got a catch on the bottom
There's no
side.
flash.
Who's just dead! He's taken out before the fight even really begins! And now Lucid is being sniped down, trying to play a bullet hell, but he can't get away! And Barrel's not able to block. Wouldn't have mattered either. The needles were coming over the top, and that is 3 kills just like that, basically for free for KT.
That's it! That should just be it! KT's about to 2-0 DK! Valdez!
I can't believe it.
They didn't even get even the Herald wouldn't have made that play good, but like, it's just a cascade of disaster.
Oh, man.
Shio gets engaged on by Cuz, dies instantly. Herald at the last second resets. So
Last shot.
yeah, so he can't get the smite. Barrel can't quite protect his Lilia. And with that, Herald goes over. Leads are, and unless KT start chain giving away shutdowns, I think we're about to witness a clean 2-0, nothing to see here. After KT have just been in complete shambles. Of the back of some amazing performances from Cuz, BDD, and Perfect.
Whole team is rolling. You know, not everybody's the main character. I feel like even Duckdown in these games from ahead has been very serviceable. He's been doing his job.
And fine.
His Jhin this game has been great. He's not, again, he's not the main character. He's not going to win POM, but he's doing good too. It just feels like KT have turned a leaf. I don't know what it was. Maybe just losing the T1. We're like, okay. And obviously some of it is that DK aren't playing their best game, but it certainly does look like KT are, really, really, really playing much better.
Yeah, still no notes for aiming. I don't really feel like he's... This is starting to turn into a Berserker situation.
Ooh.
With Lucid really struggling. Shia really struggling. But I keep going back to the two players, the veterans on the team, kind of supposed to be the glue holding together the ship. But the ship is floundering. Veldus, it's not doing too hot.
Anyone like a vision score graph?
I prefer CC score personally.
1985 CC
Any
score.
of my Challenger fans out there? That's a real stat from 2023.
Those are the best. Do they have that still, or did they get rid of it?
I don't know. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they do still have it.
Nice. Well, we got a 1v1, and she was actually not that far behind. Like, it feels like it should be so much farther behind this Gwen than he is. And he is behind, about 400 gold, but he's at least able to keep up. He's hiding on bush, as we can see in the minimap. But it does look like Perfect's not going to overstay his welcome. Going in onto Barrel. Honestly, I feel like they can kind of just go for whatever picks they want. Even the Solar Flare comes through. And the rest of the team is not going to follow up on that.
It's also, looking at the current game state, we're kind of left wondering, what is the comeback win con?
He missed the Shock Blast. I think maybe the Mist came down on time.
Yeah, also he has,
looks like
he has Phase Rush, right? So he can just keep going for these short trades as long as it's up. And especially with Ghost Blade, he will never be able, Grim won't be able to run it down. It doesn't have Ghost either, it's just Flash. But I struggle to find a consistent win con for DK that doesn't rely on KT making some huge mistakes. Because Ryze can carry a fight when left alone. Cuz can carry a fight when he's this far ahead when left alone. And then the same for Perfect. So there are so many threats on the KT comp, and I haven't seen a good engage from Barrow in I don't know how many games or series, but it's been a good amount. And barring that, Lucid needs to have an owner-esque performance.
Yeah.
And it hasn't really been playing up to that level. Because aiming alone just can't do it.
Yeah.
He's just a Kai'Sa.
It feels like if KT are engaging into DK's comp, the Lilia should be able to find angles. Just so many of the last bunch of fights have been so broken up, and like KT getting pick after pick.
They're just messy.
And that's, yeah, it's messy, but when you're dealing with, you know, Ryze, Wukong, and Leona that are ahead, they just keep looking for these picks, and DK are not able to respond to it very well.
Chiu, I think, looking for a TP. At least waiting in the brush for now. Might clear out the wave. Do they want to go for this? Herald's crashing mid. Might just let them have it. Leave it at that. Lucid is stacking his passive. I think it's already too late.
It's pretty late. I mean, Lucid nearly got in there. That was kind of close.
He is very
running in a
speedy.
straight line at them. But instead, it's just another Ocean Drake over to KT.
So, again, the craziest thing, they're only 2k gold down.
Yeah, Chiu's up on gold.
That's just not how the game is feeling.
Well, the short trade comes through, and now he's just TPing away. He's trying to at least, and he should be able to.
Good play.
I mean,
Why?
blew his TP. But at least he didn't die.
As good as we get in that position, right? Push too far, new Cuz was collapsing. Uses TP. Doesn't mean Perfect's gonna have TP advantage. 2 items done for Cuz. Sundered Sky, Triforce as well. BDD, would not be surprised to see him go for the stopwatch next. And Showmaker just hit his spot. That's the 2-item spike for Corki, everyone.
Yep.
It's here. Yeah!
Let's just do the Otacon.
Hail
Hey!
Mary. Might as well.
Well, they know. They know this is happening.
Right, you get the TP, you can now leave. You got the No.
or they could pull it and win the smite.
Well, they did.
Like
get
they
it,
did in
they
game
did get
one.
it last time.
And
It did
KT
work.
is not here because Izzo, he gets into the pit just barely and steals it away, and Barrel's just, he's just gone. He's out of the fight immediately because pretty low, but now you've got the front line as Perfect just runs them down. The TP comes in the Realm Warp, they get behind them. Aiming doing a good job of kiting, but he just doesn't have a team. It's a Quadra for the Gwen, and Aiming says absolutely not. You get out of here with that. And KT doesn't really care because they won the fight in a big way and got the Otacon.
4 for 2. Lucid. The smites have generally been pretty solid, but in this time, not gonna be enough. Old man Cuz still got the hands. That's the smite. And
Like, where's my smite button?
Barrel's tossed, I think, with keeping him out.
1388.
But yeah, wow. I guess it was combined with the 4th shot.
Jin shot, yeah.
Must be. That was a crazy timing, actually.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Like that's not really smiteable.
Hard to even really blame Lucid. I mean, Cuz was able to smite it, sure, but
It's a Hail Mary, right?
it's a Hail Mary.
Yeah, I don't.
Really, the issue was,
제발.
Please, please,
제발.
please.
야, 제발 슬로우 줘. 제발.
please give me,
형님.
get the slow.
아, 까비. 나
He wanted the
나 이거
penta.
붙여갈게.
Come on, guys. Please help me. And, well, they tried, but Aiming did flash. He also had Cleanse available, and he was, like, full health, so. Unfortunate Perfect, but no. That would have been a great story, though. He comes back in after 31 days and gets a pentakill against DK.
It's been raining penas. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, even without Smolder and Zeri in the meta.
Things are looking dire for DK fans. Things are looking great for KT fans. And I feel like between those two, KT fans have had it more rough recently. Because we do have the Baron as an objective now. It's the one thing, just don't throw a Baron, KT, and I think you're golden. They got possible Ocean Soul in a little bit. It's fine, they're just baiting out. They're looking for an engage.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're ahead, but this isn't like an unlosable game. This isn't like that game that I actually called unlosable that they almost lost. Ooh, near engage from Peter. He's level 10, he's almost level 11 for his
It's Ocean Rift
X-Ult.
as well. There's so little vision.
Yeah.
DK, not gonna fall for it. And why would KT do this when you can just play for the Drake, where there isn't the risk, and even if you lose, it's very hard to imagine a scenario where DK smite Dragon, win the fight, and like get out so you don't get Nash, and you can just give it up. Yeah, I don't think you really care. As yet, DK is still very clear, like, can we maybe a little bit of control? Peter is up 2 levels, real levels, by the way.
Yeah.
No, it's fake levels,
Not technical.
technically.
Yeah. Not figuratively either. Just actually 2 levels up.
And you can, again, even in the player cams, you can just see it. DK, not looking good. Perfect, talking a lot, chewing his gum.
He's just so locked in today.
This is also something that we've been, again, we got to see with Perfect. I think he played his best at the beginning of his debut, and then when the team started struggling, you could really see him not be able to cope with the pressure. He was getting focused. I think it was summer playoffs. And then after that, it really did feel like his champion pool was suffering. He wasn't able to show the same performance. As I guess we're just going to give Ocean Soul, which does make sense. Really think DK is in a position, but
They can't do anything about it.
yeah. Well, so they're going to start Nash, and
They do it so quickly, by the way.
BDD is going to Realm Warp over. And then this is
They
this is
can't
all
do,
or nothing.
they
Well,
can't do Baron.
Yeah, they have to. They don't have a choice. And then they're going to Realm Up over. And
All
then
right.
the flip's going to come through.
Yeah, I mean, the Hail Mary is there, and they just have to back away. They're just being pelted by Jin right now.
Dead.
And meanwhile, Xiu's just dead. And it's not a leash, but it basically is. KT, they get the free kill. They say, thank you very much, buddy. And maybe we'll just take the objective.
Yeah, that's Soul. That's Nash. And what a fall from grace for a team that was, we knew, not really our #1 team during LCK Cup, but watching them gets 2-0'd by KT, which really, maybe that means that they are good, but the level of gameplay just doesn't back it up. As you take a look, the Hail Mary Baron. KT, no. Realm Warp comes through, even without the Realm Warp. Doctum just sets up shop. I don't know if they're ever going to get that shield. Yeah. What are you going to do? Ends up going down. Aiming is almost level 16.
He's just... All right, we're really going for some Fnatic rush strats.
Oh, I have to. And you see the entirety of KT playing together.
And this game, you said it before, but it really just feels like desperation from DK.
But it's felt that way starting level 4.
Yeah.
Even though
the
it's
whole game.
not warranted.
Well, we got a bit of a flank
Well,
going on.
Perfect knows, but I don't like
It's level 16 Gwen with
are on
flash.
the way.
Yeah. I don't think you do anything, and he's just going to flash away. And now we get the needles in a barrel, and they just dive under the turret. They don't care. Down goes Barrel, and they even have the wave here. Oh, some Krugs on your way, why not?
They even have the wave here.
They even have the wave here. Flash over the wall.
But he did! He did! He did flash
Oh,
over the
man.
wall!
And it might just be Dunzo from here. KT pushing with Baron, and you can see that DK just do not have any signs of life. They're trying to clear the wave. Showmaker nearly loses his head to the rise. BDD just running at him. And that will be the first inhibitor. They'll take the mid inhibitor as well with the Gwen push. Nice timing here from Perfect. And they don't have the top inner turret, so looks like that'll be the end of that push for now. They could just go top if they don't want to spend their gold, if they feel like they're far enough ahead. Huge damage coming out from just Duckdown. And that really just shows where this team is at right now.
It's actually unlosable, Valdez. We've
I think
reached,
from here it is.
We've reached the stage where even a KT game is unlosable.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
KT are the stable team. We expected both of these teams to be unstable. That's why we thought it was going to be such a crazy back and forth.
One of them is.
One of them is. One of them fulfilled their destiny. The other one, KT, what are you doing, guys? You're looking too good. We don't know how to interpret this at the LCK. What does it mean? What did KT mean by this? Yeah. This isn't the 3-gamer banger that we were hoping for. And Barrel's just going to kind of throw an underhand softball made of tissue paper into KT. I mean, they're so far behind now that it's really hard to say much, but yeah. Might just mean that KT ends it here, and maybe that's what Barrel wanted. At this point, it's really unsalvageable, and even that is going to be a shot from Duckdom straight into the heart of the DK fans, and straight into the heart of Shiyu as well. 31 minutes, that'll be the end of game 2. KT takes it down, clean 2-0. Nothing to see here.
And KT, they needed this. Oh, they needed this so badly. And the 2-0 expected by absolutely no one comes through. Perfect comes back. And what in many ways is the starting lineup, with the one exception of Peter coming in. As, yep, there we go.
Yep. This is what happens when you ride the roller coaster.
Oh, you gotta
Yeah.
love it. Look at that, Perfect. That is a player that I'm pretty sure for the entirety of summer, I didn't see smile. He just looked stressed.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, DK, yeah, I'd rather look away, Valdez. Seeing my challengers players get kind of boomed. Not the best, but what can you say? KT was just better.
KT were great today. It was awesome to see them playing with such gusto. You know, the 2-0 was a close game 1, but game 2 was all theirs. You could feel it, even though it was a close game. It didn't matter. Close in, you know, quotation marks with gold, and that's about it. We get some. There's the Dom Duck sign again, where literally says Dom and then Duck and then KT win. I don't know if that's some kind of joke or something, or if they're actually just holding the signs the wrong way. Either way, Duck Dom also had a pretty good game too. You know, he wasn't the main character, but had a good day today. And yeah, they have hope for KT. All the fans celebrating. It's been a while since KT have tasted victory. We had some stats. Perfect in Challenger League was putting up some big numbers, like a 4.3 KDA. It was 11-4, and I think he deserved to be called back up, especially when he shows the just composure that he played with today. even through like rocky lane states and stuff like that, was able to get some wins, win in a 1v2 situation, close fights like this. I think he's really the main story.
That isn't where the game was won, but it's where the game was won. The game wasn't. It's when you're, and that's why the entirety of DK looks like right now. When you're queuing up, but you know you should have taken a break 2 games ago.
Yep.
And then your
That's
first
me.
skirmish. Yeah, I know I'm preaching the choir on this one.
Yeah.
But you lose that first skirmish, and the game is not lost at all. But in your heart of hearts, you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's cooked.
It's cooked for KT. Great day. Cuz looking a lot better. We were getting worried about both him and BDD. They were not playing up to their usual level. I think that Doc Dump, he was there, did his job. Didn't really need to do more. Peter looked great. And perfect. What a re-entrance into the LCK.
Saying hit the tower. Whoa. When Barrel jumps in. You see that sleep come in. It's just so all over the place, disorganized. It just felt like Lucid and Barrel couldn't put one-on-one together. Nice shot, take it slow. Don't go. Just hit the tower. Cuz is like, no. We don't need to go for kills.
I swear, BDD was smiling. I was like, guys, this game is won like 15 minutes ago. Chill.
And Cuz was like, no, hit the turret. I can understand that desperation. You know, they didn't play desperately, but in that moment, right in front of the Nexus, where you are about to taste the 2-0 over DK, that's when you can be desperate.
And DK are going up against T1 this Saturday. I don't think that loss streak is going to end anytime soon. If they look how they played here today, not looking good. The Corky mid doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, but for KT, this might be where the season turns around, right? Let's not forget, there is still plenty of opportunity. The gap between particularly our 3rd place and now KT will overtake Brion because their game score is a little better. They're -5 instead of -6.
Yeah.
But 8th till 3rd, it's not that far apart. We're talking 2 series wins.
Yeah. And BDD's gonna get it for his Yone. His Yone was disgusting. It was so good. Oh, man.
I don't mind the as any time, really. I don't mind the BDD, but you know who I voted for.
Perfect.
Of course I had to vote for Perfect.
Yeah.
Had to do it to him. And I also
He just came back from Challengers. He couldn't vote for anyone else.
Well, I also feel like he actually earned it.
I think
both
he did.
games.
I think he'll get a lot of votes for sure.
But it's a BDD vote for KT win. What are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, his Yone was cracked. His Rise was good. It didn't feel like he was the main player in that second game, but he was playing well, you know? He had a good Rise game. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I think it was between him and Perfect.
I do think if he doesn't get that flash predict, he doesn't get it.
Yeah. There were a lot of moments in the crowd whenever BDD would make a crazy Yone or Rise play that everybody would be like, whoa, that was crazy. Like you could hear the reverberations in the audience. So maybe a little bit of a hype vote. Hype's on bro, but yeah. Sorry, I can't control myself. But yeah, Perfect had the narrative behind him. He had like the comeback story, the comeback king, you know. But yeah, BDD got it. We'll see who Soup and CZZ did vote for. That's who I'm looking at nowadays, even more than media. I'm going to hand it over to Deer for the POM interview translation right now.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Deer for the POM interview translation. We are here with BDD on the side of KT Rolster. Congratulations.
BDD 선수와 인터뷰 나눠보겠습니다. 2대 0으로 승리하고 3연패를
You've defeated
오늘의 승리로
D plus Kia with a 2-0 score and ended your 3 losing streak. KT has turned the leaf. How does it feel? Now, it's been a while since we had won against a West team, so I think it actually does build a new momentum. I'm really glad that we're able to secure today's victory. And KT was on a 5-match losing streak against DK, and you defeated them after 1 year. So how amazing does it feel? Yeah, every time we went against them, it was so strange. We would always lose. So I'm just so glad that we're able to finally beat them. And BDD does it again. Your matchup against Showmaker was quite hyped today. So what did you pay attention to the most in today's mid matchup?
쇼메이커 선수가 어쨌든 약간
First of all, I think
돌아다니는 플레이를 좋아하고
Showmaker
지금 또 애니도
likes to
바꾸면서
roam a lot.
쇼메이커 선수도 잘 쓰는 걸로 알아서
And since
그런 부분 좀 신경
Annie
쓰면
has been buffed, and I think I just had to consider the fact that he might pick up that Annie and roam around a lot during today's match. And with your rise in game 2, you really defended
일단 요즘
mid
아리아보다
really well,
은혜가
and
잘 되는 것 같아요. 그래서 네, 넣어주고
and
가는
with
것
your
같습니다.
Yone in game 1, your performance was so awesome. So is it safe to say that Yone is now one of your classics? Yeah, I think Yone has been really comfortable, and I guess you could say that. And your rise, you looked so comfortable with the rise pick as well. And for Perfect to come back in the LCK after 1 month, what process was there?
뭐 다 같이 이렇게 섞어가면서 했었고 승민이
I think we were just
모진말도 많이 했는데 오늘 잘해줘서 고마운 것 같습니다.
trying a bunch of things out with the roster, with the players going in and out. And I think when he was in CL, you know, I teased him a lot, but I'm really glad that he came back. And Perfect was solid today. Your POM votes were quite split. So do you want to say anything to him? Good job. And your next opponent will be DN Freaks. What mindset will you head in with? You know, DN Freaks, although they are winless, we have to make sure that we don't let our guards down, and we will prepare just as well to make sure that we win. I feel like whenever you smile, your fans smile even brighter. So would you like to say anything to your fans? You know, as always, thank you so much for your support. And I'll make sure to work even harder so that you guys can keep smiling. And that's the end of the interview with BDD. I'm back to the space. Thank you.